Welcome back to another episode of the Players, Pars, and Pints podcast. And now here is your host, Ryan Watts.
All right, guys, welcome to the latest edition of Players, Pars, and Pints, brought to you by the Barracks Golf Course, Plattsburgh, New York. For tee times, give us a call, 518-566-7150. Guys, we have a great guest today. Really looking forward to this one for a while. So we have head coach for the hockey St. John Fisher University team, Reid Lesswing. Reid, how are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Well, before we get too far into it, how's the summer been, man? You get out, play a little golf, or how's it been?
It was good. It was, obviously finishing up recruiting for our first year here, but, I'm mixing in a little golf. So played a bunch of golf, enjoyed some nice weather, finished up recruiting class, and now it's time to play some hockey.
Oh, for sure. I think everyone's chomping at the bit, the hockey people. It's been a long time since, games counted. So I think your story is a tremendous one, Reid. If we look back, spent some time obviously playing at Castleton, solid career there. And, from there, a couple of games in the SPHL and ACH. And then you decided to get into coaching. What sort of led you to the coaching career, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, once I was done playing, I got a job at a bank servicing some mortgages and quickly realized that's not something that I'm cut out for or that I really enjoy doing. So opportunity opened at Castleton. Steve Moffat was actually the head coach there at the time. So I'd played 1 year for him at Castleton and had that connection. He was looking for a grad assistant. So reached out to him and, he hired me and went to Castleton. It's funny, he left right when I got there. He took the job back at Plattsburgh and, so I was interim coach, my first ever, month of coaching. I was interim head coach till they hired a coach, and then GA'd for 2 years there. Went for a year at Fredonia, and then, kind of full circle. The assistant coaching job opened at Plattsburgh, and I reached out to Moff, said, "Hey, don't ditch me this time." And he hired me as assistant and did 5 great years there, and which has led me to, the next stepping stone for me, becoming a head coach. So,
yeah, and so some tremendous time at Plattsburgh. I mean, obviously you and Moff really had some successful years. I mean, Plattsburgh State, very historic program, but was going through a little bit of a downturn possibly for a brief period. And I feel like you and Moff came in, recruited well, and brought some energy back. And really you can still see the fruits of your effort there, man. It's, heading back in the right direction, I feel, at Plattsburgh State. So what kind of good memories do you have maybe from there, Reid?
Oh, tons. I mean, it was a great run. It just, really proud of, like you said, kind of turning things around. It was when we kind of took over. It was dark days, grim time. We weren't very good. We had some good talent, but I don't think the team was necessarily a team. Kind of more a bunch of individuals that had a lot of talent, just not all pulling on the same rope. And me and Steve kind of focused on some stuff we thought we could definitely get better at, and obviously you're always recruiting talent and want good hockey players, but it's also kind of what's your culture in the room and what you're buying. So kind of found some stuff that we wanted to kind of try to recruit. And, I think we hit on some guys and obviously changed some things. And, hey, once success breeds success. So once we started rolling, it just kind of made things easier. And then you can target certain guys that you might not be able to recruit when things weren't going as well, right? So just kind of tried to be consistent and kept building on it. And, obviously, we won a SUNYAC, probably should have won 2, just, bad bounce. But, it was, great memories. It was a great time, great 5 years, have no regrets, made lifelong friends. And, couldn't speak higher of being a part of the Cardinal family out there in Plattsburgh.
Oh, it's fantastic. And then for our listeners, I think this is where it's a great story. So obviously, you're the assistant, but, the goal, again, is to be a head coach, right? So you get an opportunity at St. John Fisher, but the catch is they don't have a hockey team yet, right? So
yeah.
You get the role, and really you're building the program from scratch. So, day one, you get the job, you sit down. I mean, are you going, holy bleep, like what did I get myself into? Or, how did you navigate, no players and really starting from scratch? What were your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean it's different. It's pretty unique experience. Not something everyone can do. And I wasn't leaving Plattsburgh for just any job. Turned down a few actually in my 5 years there. Just didn't feel that the school or university was going to give me all the tools to be successful. I'm coming from a historically winning program, and we had a lot of success. So I want to go somewhere that we can try to duplicate that. And came on my interview with Fisher and was blown away. So, really sat down, and obviously it starts with recruiting. So it was kind of like, all right, how do we attack recruiting? I got nothing. I got no team. I got no record. They're building us a rink so they built us a rink. So we had some stuff, but it was a challenge. I think the hardest part was knowing when to take a guy and offer a guy, and when to maybe hold out longer for maybe a little better player or somebody you really wanted. Especially when you got to find, 29 guys, a lot of guys to find. So, but it was a lot of work. I mean, a lot of phone calls, a lot of traveling, a lot of visits. But I think, the fruits of our labor paid off. We did a pretty good job recruiting for a startup. We got a lot of talent. We're a really young group, right? I mean, again, 29 guys I had to bring in. I think we only got 8 transfers. So, you're looking at 21 freshmen. Like, we're a really young group, but we did a really good job recruiting those guys. And now comes the challenge of setting the standard of what Fisher hockey is going to be for the future.
No, and I think you bring the pedigree, like you said, of having success and playing in conference championship games. So you've been there, and you can certainly speak to it. And I know players respect that, right? So as you move forward this year, have you set any goals in terms of how much you want to grow, or what realistic expectations might be, for year one?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're always trying to set goals and achieve the highest level you can. I think for us to say, hey, our goal is to win a conference title might be a little lofty. We're in a really good conference. I mean, we got Utica and Geneseo are both top 5 teams, and then Chatham and Albertus, I think we're getting some votes early on in the preseason polls, right? So yeah. It's a really tough conference. So I think saying, hey, let's go win a conference title might be a little lofty, but I think I got my eyes set on, like, let's try to host a home playoff game. Let's definitely try to get into playoffs. I mean, I think that's definitely a very attainable goal. And also just, hey, there's a lot of firsts this year. So, hey, let's win our first game. Who's going to score the first goal? Things like that. This is going to be a year of a lot of firsts, and kind of like I said, it's just kind of setting the foundation for years to come. You want to have that, day by day mindset, but as a head coach, you also kind of have that like broader up top view where it's like, all right, hey, 5 years, we want to be a powerhouse. Year 1, let's build. So year 5, we're a staple in the NCAAs.
Well, and I think from the player's perspective, it is a pretty fun scenario, right? Where you said, I mean, someone's going to be in the history books for the first goal. Someone's going to be for the first win as a goalie. Someone's going to get the first penalty. I mean, like you said, it's a pretty exciting time for the guys, and they're going to be etched in St. John Fisher history. And then hopefully, as the years go on, you sort of build the alumni that come back and become, a tradition that'll be similar to what you're used to. I mean, I know we're all rooting for you. That would be fantastic. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's gonna be pretty cool. Like, something I told a lot of guys is like, hey, you can go to a lot of schools, but not many schools can you go and really leave a lasting legacy. You're gonna have to use Platts for example. There's a really, really rich history. I think it's their 50th year, and they got some all-stars who have come through that program. Right, it's gonna be tough to get your jersey in the rafters or be in a record book there. Where here, hey, you come in and you kill it, like there's nobody before you. You're set in the record book, so it's a pretty cool, unique opportunity.
That is awesome. And for yourself, I mean, the other bonus is you're from out that way a little bit closer to home for you, right?
Yeah, for sure. Buffalo, so about an hour. We're on the other side of Rochester. We're on the east side, so it's probably like an hour 10 home, which is great. Mom's loving it. Dad will probably be at most games, and you can never complain when you're moving closer to home.
The one thing that we'll share with everyone is you being from Buffalo, the Sabres is probably not worth the trip at this point, my friend. Though I don't know how many games you're going to try to catch.
I'll make it up to a few. They're actually doing pretty good so far. We'll see. The problem with them is they either start hot and then they fall apart, or they fall apart early and then get hot. So yeah. I'm waiting for the wheels to fall off here.
Yeah. Now, as you transition this year, and you hit on some of it earlier, being a very successful assistant, what challenges maybe do you face as you become the head coach? And you're very prepared for it, but what challenges have you had?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just you have a different relationship with the guys being the head coach, right? You're making the lineup. Everything kind of falls on you. So, those hard conversations you're having to have, whereas an assistant, you can be a little more player friendly. You can be a little more, hey, you're having a tough go. I can be a shoulder to lean on kind of guy where, and I got to be bad cop way more now. So I think that just more of an adjustment mindset. And then, just being a little more prepared for certain situations in the game, if we use a timeout or if I need to drop a face-off play and little things like that, whereas an assistant, you might not have to think about that. You're focused on some other things. So really just kind of changing my mindset and being more of a leader.
Yeah. And as you put your staff together, obviously, again, being the first year, you really have an opportunity to sort of, create the staff in the mold that you like. You playing on the blue line, the D side. Do you look in your staff? Do you look for more guys that maybe played a more offensive role, or how do you go about putting your staff together?
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally that's what I would have liked, but I actually hired another defenseman, Alex Palmerville. He's been great. That was something I asked in the interview process, like, hey, I need an assistant day one to help me recruit this team, and school and was all about it. So they let me hire him from day one, and he's been with me. He recruited all year last year with me, and now finally he's getting to see the fruits of his labor and get to coach and see the guys on the ice. But he's a defenseman just like me, so. But he interviewed really well. He did a great job recruiting for us. Couldn't be happier. So I'm moving up to the front of the bench at the forward position. Know plenty about it and how I want my guys to play. I guess the biggest change is just running lines with a few more guys versus just having 6 or 7 guys back at the back end.
Yeah, and how do you envision your team playing? Are you looking to play fast and get in on the forecheck, or what do you feel your strengths are going to be this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely want to be a pretty fast, aggressive, up-tempo team. I mean, we got a lot of skill. We got a lot of speed. I think where being a young team, where our holes and where we got to probably learn the most about college hockey is the defensive zone. Just it's a different game. It's a little more physical. You're playing, much more skilled hockey players than you were in juniors, older, stronger. So just shoring up that end, I think, is going to be really important for us. But I think we're going to be able to score. I think we're going to be able to keep up pace-wise with everybody. Want to be pretty aggressive, kind of the mentality we had at Plattsburgh bringing over here, and that's kind of the way we want to play. But again, we're going to be young, so we're gonna have some young mistakes. We're gonna have a lot of growth. I'm excited for what this group could do. Maybe shock D3 hockey a little bit.
Well, and I think you hit it on earlier. Your strength of schedule will certainly not be an issue with some of the guys that you're going to go against, and maybe the young kids that'll be playing maybe in their first collegiate game. How do you prep them for a Utica or a Geneseo where we have a very experienced team that's been NCAA contenders for years?
It's tough. I mean, those guys, between the skill obviously is one thing, but also a really, really hard environment to play in. Both those teams are going to get a really good crowd, and it can snowball on you fast, right? They score one, the place erupts. You got to try to stop the bleeding right there. But preseason, I kind of, planned ahead a little bit, and as the Plattsburgh faithful know, we had our first exhibition game in Oswego, and they had a really good crowd. And obviously, having played there for multiple big time games at Plattsburgh, I knew like this is a good experience for our guys. That was 21 guys' first ever time in a college hockey game. It was exhibition, but still a pretty ruckus crowd, and I think it was a good eye-opening experience. Playing a pretty good team. Like, hey, here's one of the top teams. This is where we got to get to. So I think that's kind of where it started. And now going forward, it's just going to be day by day. What can we learn from each game, and what can we take away, good, bad, win, loss, just to kind of prepare us for the next game. But I mean, Jenny, Utica, those guys it's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, and we certainly noticed who you were playing. We started an exhibition game against Riviera, and we were like, well, the quality of opponents are not exactly the same. And, our game was well underway, and we knew yours were starting, and, a lot of people rooting for it. And we're like, man, he definitely jumped right into the fire with this one. But like you said, a great experience for the kids. And if you're going to face it, why not jump right in and get them acclimated as quickly as possible, right?
Oh, 100%. You could see it first period, they're a little wide-eyed. I think they might have thought they were ready, but, you're never ready till you're in the situation. And I think the first period kind of guys a little awestruck or wide-eyed, just kind of head spinning a little bit. And Obviously, they got up pretty big early on us, but from the second and third period, it was a 2-1 hockey game. So, we kind of settled in, and the guys kind of wrapped their head around it and was like, all right, hey, we got that out of our system. So I'm pretty optimistic for the rest of the year.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. So we always like to ask our guys in your role, especially, what do you do to de-stress away from the game? I know you love to play some golf, but have you sort of realized that you have to take some time away now that you're the guy that's making all the decisions and a little bit more stress on you?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying not to be like Steve Moffat and not be able to sleep, but it's hard not to, go home and think about work and think about lines and power play and what could we have done different? What could I change? But I do think it's important to get away and just have a little time. So, I mean, obviously, I love golf, play a lot of golf. We actually have a golf simulator here for our golf team on campus. So the clubs are in my office. I'll sneak down there once in a while. And then big food guy, love food, love to eat, love to cook. So, I like to cook and go home, make a nice meal after work, take my mind off of it for a little bit. And then normally after I'm done eating the meal I cooked, it's time to think about hockey again.
Yeah, for sure. And I was joking with assistant Neil Mulcahy yesterday. I stopped by and, I saw him off and said to Neil, I said, he's already in mid-season form stress-wise. You can just see it. As like you said, he's contemplating, how did practice go? What should the lineup be? What do we need? It's opening week. It's parents' weekend. So many things that you guys juggle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's way more to head coaching too than just the X's and O's and just the player management. There's setting up parents' weekends. There's your senior night stuff. There's just general administrative work that's got to be done. There's a lot more that goes into it that I don't think your average person or average fan might actually realize, especially at the D3 level. We're kind of a jack of all trades. I'm an administrator. I'm a coach. I'm a construction crew guy once in a while. I'm an equipment manager sometimes. It's a little bit of everything. So it can be a lot to juggle at times, but it's super rewarding when you see guys be successful and you had a hand in kind of shaping them as human beings and helping their success.
I think there's no doubt, and we've joked over the years too, and I think people have no idea the amount of prep that goes into this job, not only from a coaching standpoint, but the amount the players do as well. And I think the fans at the rink sometimes, they get so into the hockey and passionate about the hockey, you almost forget that these guys are also student athletes. So the amount of time that is put into these programs from both the admin side and the player side, it's remarkable to see the level of commitment that it takes to be successful.
Oh, for sure. I mean, these guys, we're practicing in the mornings 2 days a week, and then in the afternoons on 2 days, and then they got workouts, then they got class. Some guys got night class, some guys got internships. I mean, they're going all the time, and very rarely are they having some downtime. So a lot. Yeah, it's very time consuming. Like you said, it's not just show up to the rink and play or show up to the rink and practice. It's taking care of your body, dieting, resting, hydrating, like way more. These guys are athletes, and they take it seriously. So it's not just like it was maybe in the 80s when it's just, hey, we just strap the boots on and let's go.
Yeah. And we hit a little bit on it, but for this year specifically, do you do any more team building exercises to get the guys to know each other? Because there's no returning players, there's no veterans to lean on, right? For your squad, how do you get the guys maybe as a group to be a little bit more tight knit?
Yeah, we've definitely done some team building, but I think a little bit of them all being new kind of naturally helped them get pretty close because they showed up and there was just them, right? They only knew the group. There was no prior group. Everybody's new. Everyone's in almost the same situation. So they all kind of just gravitated towards each other anyway. Yeah. Where, going into next year, we're going to have a core group of guys and we're going to have new guys try to, join that group versus just having a bunch of new guys all form a group, if that makes sense. Yeah. But we definitely did a little bit of more team building, being the new team on campus too. We made sure to go out and support all the other teams and, had great feedback from all the other teams. So we're hoping for our first home opener on the 7th of November that, all those teams show up and we get a pretty packed house.
That, my friend, is going to be a very special moment that I hope you have, a few moments to soak that all in and what a special occasion that'll be for you in the program, that first regular season home game.
For sure. I mean, pretty excited, and like we talked about earlier, year of many firsts, being able to make history and hey, that's going to be the first ever home game in St. John Fisher history, right? Like, so it's going to be pretty cool. Hopefully we can get a win. I know the boys will be fired up. I know I'm fired up, but starts Friday versus Buff State for us. So
yeah, and that's a familiar opponent. And lastly, I think we'll talk just a little bit more on the recruiting with the changes in Major Canadian Junior Hockey. The strength of all schools is just better. Do you find that you'll have some success because it feels like a different lay of the land recruiting these days?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think it's kind of going to be a few years till everyone kind of figures out how it all works, what's the best way to go about it. But I think the pool's just gotten bigger and bigger, and the talent is there, right? Now it's our job to go find it and bring it here. So, yeah. I mean, I think I said it last year. I think this whole CHL thing, though it didn't come through until later in the year, just the speculation of it at D3, and obviously it happened at D1. It was like a perfect storm for us to be building a team and recruiting, because there was a lot of kids who were bubble kids or, weren't getting as much love as they thought they would, that we could scoop up because D1 teams were going after CHL guys and so on and so forth. So it was almost like a perfect storm for us to go out and recruit a team.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of our fans might not realize like the level of difference between a guy that's playing maybe a third line on a D1 or fourth liner to playing on a first or second line in D3 has really, I think the gap is narrowed, right? I mean, the talent is deep in both D1 and
sure.
D3. I think hockey's in a great spot these days for sure. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see it, guys making the jump or guys going from D1 that transfer to D3, and some guys go in and they're absolute difference makers. Bennett Stockdale, while we were at Plattsburgh, I mean, kid was awesome for us. But then you see it the other way too, where guys will make the jump down and they're just kind of another guy on the roster, right? So I don't think there's some guys at D3 who are the top players who could easily play D1 hockey, and vice versa. The bottom players at D1, they could easily be an average D3 player.
Yeah. Now, and on the NIL side, have you guys given any thought to NIL or anything that you'll look to do there as it sort of?
I've given plenty thought to it. If I could use it, I would, and not that, but I don't think the school's given much thought to it. It's one of those things. Any type of advantage you can get within the rules, why not use it? So I mean, it's definitely something that I think most schools are trying to navigate. Most places are trying to navigate. So, yeah, of course, I've given thought to it. Whether or not we have no use for it yet, but yeah. I'm trying to find a way.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the next 3 to 4 years, it's certainly going to have a bigger impact on D3 as well. I mean, obviously, major college football, it's already super prevalent, but it's coming, right, for our teams. There's no doubt.
100%, and. I think the NCAA kind of opened a can of worms, and there's no way to put it back in, right? So now it's like, all right, how do we navigate it? How do we make it best for the athletes, for the teams, for the schools? Like, what's the best way forward? Because it's clear it's not going to go away. But yeah, like there's got to be a way to utilize it at our level and make it help your program and your student athletes.
Yeah. Well, guys, once again, we've been talking to Reid Lesswing, first year here at St. John Fisher. So much looking forward to how the season goes for you. And listen, we want to wish you. It's a little bit away, but it'll be here before you know it. Your birthday there toward the end of November, so hopefully you're able to celebrate with a win around that time. And we definitely would like to have you back on as the season progresses, because we'd love to check in and explore your growth and just see how things are going for you, man.
Yeah, for sure. Let me, love to come back on and. Anytime you need me. So, yeah, we play on my birthday, the 22nd. I think we got Albertus Magnus. So, hopefully, for my birthday, we get a W.
That's what we're looking for, man. As we get older, you have most other things you need. Give me a W, man. Let's make it
exactly.
And then maybe you get some sleep that night, right? So
hopefully.
Like you said, as a head coach, those days of getting sleep are precious, man. So
absolutely.
Well, again, Reid, we can't thank you enough. Wish you all the best. Really excited to see how the season goes, and nothing but the best from out here in Plattsburgh, my friend.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys. So, hey, once again, it's been Players, Pars, and Pints, brought to you by the Barracks Golf Course, Plattsburgh, New York. You can grab a tee time, 518-566-7150. Thanks so much to our guest, Reid Lesswing, and we're going to talk to all you guys soon. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Players, Pars, and Pints podcast. Make sure to subscribe and check back for future episodes. Also, make sure to follow us on X and Facebook at Pars and Pints. Until next time, everybody,